What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Ty, and we're back with another one. And today, I want to talk about the fundamentals. All right, folks. I've been doing some thinking. I had a few of my clan members, and we're in CWL. We're almost done. I hope everybody's having a great CWL. We're actually having a pretty good one. We are. Before I get into it, let's take a look so I can just show you our season info. East Coast Clash. So right now, we're in Gold League 1 because we're a fairly new clan. So we're making our way up, but we are having a pretty good CWL. But in CWL, within watching CWL, I noticed a few things about my clan. And one of the things that I noticed was a decent number of my own clanmates don't really have the basics of attacking down. And then they get kind of frustrated, in the comments about, messing up their attack or not understanding why their attack got messed up. So I decided it was time to revisit the basics. And on our clan Discord, I came up with an acronym. And the acronym that I came up with is SEDMAC. 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 That is the acronym that I came up with. And the whole reason I came up with it was to help my clanmates out with their attack. So what is SEDMAC? Let's break it down. It's basically a guideline how to do your attacks. And this applies to all different types of attacks because it's just the fundamentals. It's just the fundamentals. So let's start with the S. The S is scout the base. So let me pull up a layout. I'll pull up one of my... Actually, let me go to a different account here to give a better look at a layout. So yes, you want to scout the base. And that means so many different things. We'll use this base right here on my Black Ice account. And you're scouting the base. When you're scouting the base, you're looking for the best entry into the base based on your attack. So depending on if you're going to fireball, you may be looking like down here at the eagle and going, oh, that's great fireball value. There's the eagle right there. Or even better fireball value is probably this rage compartment. Because it's like, man, I can get an Inferno Tower, a Scatter Shot, rage, maybe even that Expo, But you scout the base. You scout the base and you figure out where you want to start your attack. So many people get in the bad habit of starting their attack in the same location, no matter what the layout looks like. They might do it because they're right-handed or they're left-handed. So they will always attack from the same side just because it feels more comfortable to them. But then when the attack doesn't succeed, you're like, why didn't it work? It's because you did not scout the base. Let's look at a different, base. We'll look at my current war layout, and it'll probably be easier if we look at it this way. Let's see. And we're going to go to Scout. So here's my current war layout. I make all my own bases. Here's my current war layout. And it's a different layout than my home village, so I just, using it to scout. And when you're scouting the base, once again, depending on what type of start you're going to have, you're looking for different things. If you're just having, like, your heroes create a funnel.
What did he say?
This side over here may be the better side because there's no major defenses on any of these corners that will hinder your start to your attack. you know? Or if you're doing a fireball, then maybe these sections right in here are more appealing to you. You know? Maybe those sections are more appealing to you. But scout the base, scout the base. And if it's in a war sense, if you scout the base, you can go back and tweak your army to specifically attack that base. And if you're doing, like, say, a ranked attack, or if you're just in battle mode, at the very least, you're able to change your siege machines to fit your attack better. Because, like I said, some people, they just get locked in and they go, this is the direction I attack from. This is the siege machine I use. And then they're not scouting. So they're just attacking and then wondering why it didn't work. So first, scout the base. Moving on. Next thing you want to do is establish the funnel. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways. I would tell my clanmates all the time, you got to set up a funnel. You got to set up a funnel. And they'd be like, okay. And then I realized they don't know what I'm talking about. Setting up a funnel is basically cutting off the sides of the entry point, forcing the mass army to go straight, for lack of a better word. You want the mass army to go in a specific direction. So to force them to go in that direction, you set a funnel. And let's see if I can show you a couple different funnels. And so here, on this account, I'm going to set the funnel on one side of the base with my queen. Up top here, I'm using the queen with some healers, a little mini queen walk to set the funnel up top there. Meanwhile, at the bottom, I use, that Yeti got flown up in the air, but I use 1, 2, 3 Yetis to set a funnel at the bottom, right? So the queen's working up top, and you see at the bottom here how the Yetis cleared out all that stuff. And the queen's doing the same. So when I put my mass army down, they have no choice but to go straight. Because look, there's nothing to their right. There's nothing to their left. So they have to go straight. All right? Let's show you another one. And I'm trying to show you different ways. Because you can set the funnel. There I use regular troops on one side and I use my hero on the other side. You can also set a funnel with one of the classic openers, like a Warden Fireball. And I'm going to show you that here. So, let's see if I have a good example. Let's run this replay here. So here we are. This is one of my ranked attacks. And I'm going to set the one side of my funnel with my warden. So there's my warden. Down with his healers. Use a couple loons to test for traps, which is essential. I also put down a furnace to help with the cleanup and to kind of speed up my warden. And see how I just cleared out that whole corner right there? That whole corner is clear. But I keep letting him work because he's doing great. He's not under any duress. But you see how I just keep carving out that corner. I'm going to show you something here in 1 second. So look at this. Look at that. That whole corner is gone. Gone. That's the start of a great funnel, right? And I just let them keep working, and I just keep getting a solid funnel. Look at that. That's beautiful. Then I bring my fireball in, and we're going to make this funnel super deep now because I get great value there with the fireball. And then real quick before I show the other side, look how much I've carved out on this side. And now we're going to shift our attention to up top. To cut off the funnel up there, I drop a Yeti. And I drop my siege barracks. So once again, real quick, I have the siege barracks up top. They're going to clean up all this stuff up here. They're going to clean all that up. And my warden has already cleaned up all of this. So it forces my main army to go straight into the base. You see that? All of my Root Riders and my Electro Titans and my King and my Warden, they go straight into the base because I set a funnel. I cut off the left, I cut off the right, forcing the army to go right into the center of the base. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you establish a funnel. Establish a funnel. All right? So I showed you heroes and regular troops on one side. This attack, I showed you fireball and siege barracks on the other side. I'm going to give you one more example. One more example. And we'll go over to my main account. And let's see here. We'll go into my ranked attacks. And let's see. Oh, we'll just take the first one. And here's just another variation. So here what I do is I use my Royal Champion. I don't do an RC charge as far as with invisibilities in that nature. My Royal Champion, she's got Rocket Spear, Electro Boots on, and I hit her ability immediately, and she also has the Phoenix on her. So I start her in the corner, and she is going to clear this corner out. While she's working up top there, I have 2 Yetis and a thrower clearing out the other side. So I pause it real quick so you can just see because it kind of happens fast. The RC is going to work up top. She's going to clear out this whole section up here. Just her by herself, right? And then down bottom, I have 2 Yetis with a thrower and a furnace. So the 2 Yetis, thrower, furnace are my funneling troops for this side, and my Royal Champion is my funneling hero for the other side. They're going to clear out their corners, which forces my army, which I'm bringing in now. And I accidentally threw down that totem. Fat fingers. But it forces my army to do what? Go straight into the base. Forces the army to go straight into the base. Alright? So, the E. Step 2. Establish the funnel. Now we go to 3. The D. Which is deploy the mass army. So that's what we did there. So you scouted the base, you've established the funnel, and now you're deploying the mass army. It's pretty simple. At this point, you're deploying your mass army. It doesn't matter if it's Super Yetis, which this is Super Yeti attack, or it doesn't matter if it's dragons, or rocket moons, or throwers, or whatever. The next step is deploying the mass army. So there's my mass army. Forced to go forward because a great funnel was set. I scouted the base, picked the best entry, set the funnel, deployed the army. They have no choice to go right into the middle of the base, right? So, moving on. The next 2 steps kind of go hand in hand. The M and the A. The M, manage your attack with spells. And the A is activate hero abilities. So, back to the replay. And I'm using spells. I'm dropping totems. right? I'm dropping totems to distract. And I even have some revives here. Let's see soon. I'm sure I'm going to pick up my Royal Champion. And I'll show another replay because I've already hit my abilities. There you go. Just pick up the Royal Champion. But you use spells and you use hero abilities to manage the attack. So you've scouted the base, you've established the funnel, you've deployed the mass army. Now once all the troops are on the board, you use your spells and you use your hero abilities to manage that attack. You use spells and hero abilities to manage that attack. And you don't want to panic. You want to try to get the most value out of whatever spell you put down and out of whatever hero ability you use, right? And then last but not least, the C is cleanup troops. And I want to show you something. Let's go to a saved army. Let's see, my Super Yeti army maybe. Or my thrower army. Here's a good example. So, cleanup troops, right? So for cleanup, so my army, 3 Yetis, 2 Super Wizards, an Ice Minion, the 4 Root Riders, 8 Throwers, 1 Apprentice Warden. And then for cleanup, I have these 3 Archers. And, you know, we've all had those attacks where at the end of the attack, there's 2 buildings that we went past. And we don't have nothing to put on those buildings to go back and get them. And we end up having a 99% time fail or a 98% time fail. Keeping a couple troops for cleanup will prevent that. And you don't have to always use like the single housing troops or the smaller troops. You can use, if you're a dragon attacker, maybe when you deploy your army, you leave 1 dragon in reserve. So if you have 15 dragons or 16 dragons, only deploy 15 of them and keep 1 dragon, and as the attack is developing, you'll see where to put it. I want to show you how all these steps together. So I'm going to show you something. As long as you have spells and as long as you have hero abilities, you are never out of the fight. So here we are. We're on my Black Ice account. And on this account, I like to open up with the fireball. So I'm going to set the funnel or establish my funnel with the fireball. I scouted the base. I decided this is where I want to enter. Because I was like, you know what? I really would like to land my fireball on the eagle. All right? We'll carve out this corner. And hopefully, I can land the fireball on the eagle. So ice block. Ooh, and I'm successful. I land my fireball on the eagle. Great start to my funnel. I cut off my funnel on the other side, the Yeti and the Siege Barracks, and now I'm bringing in my mass army, right? So this is the D, deployed my army. And I'm going to manage, now it's time to manage it, right? So see, I dropped the totem. And I dropped another totem.
Another one, thank you.
So right now, I'm in the stage, I just froze the town hall. I'm in a stage of managing the army, managing the attack, right? But sometimes things don't go always as planned, right? They don't go always as planned. We've got a good funnel. The army went straight, but somehow we still bypassed the town hall. I'm going to speed it up for a second. But I didn't panic. I still have my king's ability. I still have a couple cleanup troops, and I'm trying to think how can I go back and get the town hall? What can I do? And time's becoming a factor. But as long as you have spells and or hero abilities, it is never over. Like, this is looking really bleak. There's one Electro Titan, one King, and then I still have 2 Wizards in the army. And there's 37 seconds, and I still have to take out an Inferno, Wizard Tower, Scatter Shot, Air Defense, Storage, and the Town Hall. And time is tick, 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 tick. But I still have hero abilities, right? And I still have cleanup troops. So let's put this in regular speed now. So I just take the time and I do the math and I realize I still have my spiky ball and I know how many defenses the spiky ball can hit. So I just stay the course. I stay the course. And here, honestly, I should have brought my wizards in, but I was so locked in on my king. Boom, and we get it right at the last second. We get it right at the last second. That's one of those attacks where, like, I literally jumped up and cheered like I was watching a sporting event after that happened. But I say this to all say, if you follow the SEDMAC acronym, scout the base, establish the funnel, deploy mass army, manage attack with spells, activate hero abilities, and clean up. If you follow that acronym, I promise you that your success rate will go through the roof. It'll go through the roof. And yes, there is other kind of styles of attacking, but this is the foundation. Scouting the base, establishing the establishing the funnel, deploy the mass army, maintain with spells, activate your hero abilities, and clean up those loose buildings that you may have missed along the way, and I promise you success. Hey, y'all, but that's my 2 cents. I wanted to share that with y'all. I hope it helps someone out there. And hey, this is your boy Ty, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.